What's up, my nerd geeks and dweebs, and welcome to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. I am the nerd of the Outpost, and I hope everyone's doing good. Got a new face in the chat. Thank you coming in here, Bertrand 850. How's it going? Glad you're here. Just be talking stuff, nerd stuff tonight. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. So, just been dealing with some in real life stuff, been job hunting, went to a couple places yesterday looking for work, putting in resumes, hitting the grindstone, trying to get to a place, where I can put some money into the Outpost, So I hope everyone's been doing good. I've been catching up on Star Trek Academy, and I can honestly say I am not impressed at all with that show. The last episode was almost a Mork and Mindy style holographic kind of what is the meaning of life kind of show, and it was very boring. It was the thing with Star Trek Academy, and I've talked with my friends Q2 Cast, Sci-Fi Snob. We've talked about this quite a bit. Thing with Star Trek Academy, it's like if the writers would in knowing nothing about Star Trek, went through everything in the past, and if it looked cool, no matter what the story was behind it, they threw it in. It was utterly ridiculous. The show is set about 1,000 years from now, or 11. I think it's 1,000 years ago to 11,000 years, 1,100 years from now, and it is the most terrible thing I've ever watched. Let's see. I'm gonna look at some reviews of it. Star Trek Starfleet Academy Episode 5 review by IGN. So it's gonna they're probably gonna love it. So here it is, the Benjamin Sisko episode of Starfleet Academy. Starfleet Academy has been teasing about at least as far back as last summer. The notion of returning to the mystery of what happened to Avery Brooks as legendary Deep Space Nine captain is a daunting undertaking for the fledgling Starfleet Academy. Fortunately, the episode writers don't attempt to alter or add to the story, which, after all, is essentially completed with the end of Deep Space Nine. And they did. They completely disregarded everything. It was awful. I'm not even going to bother with that. The story is Sisko's taken by the wormhole aliens, and it ends with him saying he'll be back. And of course, in Starfleet Academy, they tell you he does not come back, which goes against his promise to Cassidy, to Jake. This show is nothing but screwing over the lore, disrespecting the past, and trying to please the fans with nonsense. It is the worst Star Trek, I think, ever. And that's including the rest of Kurtzman Star Trek. In this one, Sam, the holographic cadet or photonic cadet. She doesn't like holographic is now considered a slur 1,000 years from now. Don't understand why. She is told by her creators that she has to figure out organics so they can decide if they want to come back and interact with organics or not. She's obsessed with the term emissary. She's an emissary for her people to organics. So in that regard, she connects with the story of Captain Sisko. And so she is. This episode was written by what's her name? Tawny Newsome. Yeah, she was Tawny Newsome, who played Beckett Mariner in Lower Decks. And she self-inserts herself into it by playing one of the professors, who is the weirdest looking Cardassian I've ever seen. It's so weird. I didn't even realize it was a Cardassian until someone had to point it out to me. Let me see. Because I don't think I've ever seen a Cardassian with this kind of skin coat, this skin tone, or this kind of hair. That I've always seen Cardassians with like slick black hair. I mean, it looks interesting. It's an interesting looking alien, but it's a weird looking Cardassian, in my opinion. And so some people say, and I've heard people say, I've talked to people who say this is just another incident of a writer self-inserting themselves into the show. Yeah, so I didn't even notice, because you can barely see like the ridges on her hair, but she's not a normal Cardassian either. And spoiler alert, she's a Trill. And I'm not going to tell you which Trill she is, but we've met this Trill before. And it's disregarded. Trills, the symbiotes live for at most 800 years. And this Trill that we know is already a couple of 100 years old when we meet them. So you're telling me this is now this Trill has lived over 1,500 years? And how many hosts have they had? I don't know. It never tells us this backstory that we need. And it leaves so many it leaves so many holes in the story, so many unanswered questions, that I think modern Star Trek has a habit of doing, leaving you with questions to the point the story doesn't make any sense. So I watch this stuff so you don't have to. Hey, thanks. Oh, I appreciate it. I got to add you to the list. Thank you, Bertrand850. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And man, it helps me knowing that there are people who really care about creators and care about the content that we're able to, or we put out by show our support. Can't thank you enough. Star Trek has now become all about social issues of today, when it was supposed to be about us finding the human finding ourselves and exploring the human condition in the backdrop of outer space, of exploring, of seeing ourselves in ways that are hard, but looked at in a prism of what we can accomplish in the future, what we have grown. Suzanne, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Star Trek is supposed to be the best of what humanity could be, and we don't see that. I don't see that in modern Star Trek. The last Star Trek, in my opinion, that really looked at the idea of how can we be better was Enterprise. We saw that a little bit in, I would probably say, Prodigy. We saw characters overcoming a lot of obstacles to the point that it was inspiring, and it finished great stories of Voyager, and in a way that was smartly done and did not hit you in the face over with the outright preaching that modern Star Trek does. So I'm not happy. I heard rumors too that they might do a tax write-off of Academy since it's so bad. A lot of people don't like it. I've seen on Facebook, on many Star Trek fan pages where someone will mention Academy and it's bad, it's terrible. It's all these people saying how they don't like it. So I'm not sure. Kurtzman, I've heard who is about to have. Paramount is looking into buying out his contract or not renewing it. But if I understood right, if I remember right, if they don't renew it, he'll get a bonus or something. I don't know exactly. So now to flip it, something I actually like. I'm on episode 4 or 5 of Fallout Season 2, and so far I'm really liking it. I love how they portrayed the NCR and Kaiser's Legion. Macaulay Culkin plays one of Kaiser's legionaries, and it's so good. It's great to see him back in acting, it's so good. The story, it's so good. It's love seeing how Lucy is. She's coping with a world that goes against really everything she stands for. Memento, what's up, my dude? Thanks for coming. I'm just talking some Fallout. And how Lucy, I think she's realizing not everyone is a nice person. And she thinks being nice is going to be her shield against the terrors of the wasteland. And I think her naivety is about to be broken. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. So it's see, Fallout is when you have fans of the IP make the show, that know the show, know the history of it. Star Trek Academy is the opposite. It's when you have people who don't care, have never seen it, and disrespect the history. And with Star Trek, it's been around since my parents were kids. My mom used to say you could not miss Star Trek, an episode of Star Trek on Sunday nights, because Monday mornings you would not have anything to talk to with anybody on the playground when she was a kid. You couldn't miss out or you'd be socially ostracized almost. In Fallout, it's a future where it's not all kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Let's hold hands. It's a utopia. It's the struggles that man might face as consequences from its excess. And that's what I love stories like that. It's when the environment around us changes, how will humanity change? And Fallout takes a look at that, looks at a way. I've played Fallout, a little bit of Fallout New Vegas, so a lot of this season I recognize a lot, and I mean a lot of the landmarks. I played Fallout 4, so I know all about the Commonwealth, and I played Fallout 3, which is set in DC. So I'm wondering if we're going to have anything about like the Capital Wasteland, they call it. And this last episode, the episode I'm watching, is amazing. We're finally seeing Death Claws, which are like my favorite monsters. They're like the apex predator. Oh, so good. It's gonna be good. I mean, I'm gonna watch the rest of the season over the weekend. I'm gonna have the weekend to myself. My family's going out of town for a few days, and it's gonna be just nice and relaxing. But so that's what I've been watching. I've been doing some writing, working on my story, trying to figure out a good way to start it. I find when I'm writing, like the introduction is always the hardest parts for me. I find that kind of that hook. One thing I learned working in the school system and working in English classes, if you don't have a good hook, chances are if you can't get a reader interested in the first, I think the teacher said the first 2 pages, you're not going to have someone who wants to keep reading. So I'm always trying to figure out ways to they actually have out in Nevada, Good Springs. They have the cantina there. You can actually go and visit it, and it's like decked out Fallout stuff. A lot of people. I would love if I can ever afford it. I want a 3D printer, and I would love to be able to print off like my own like cosplay weapons and costume pieces. And if I would love to have a new California Republic helmet. It's like I've been waiting, and I have a friend whose dad has some my friend's dad has a couple printers, and he's been trying to print me off some stuff, and it's just been taking a while because there's been problems with like the print, like the resin wasn't quite right, but he's going to be printing off one of these, Captain Rex's blaster. I've always wanted to build my own Mandalorian cosplay, and what I hope to do is join the Mando Mercs. They're a charity cosplay groups that do conventions. They do hospital visits, all that kind of stuff. They're an offshoot of the 501st Stormtrooper Legion, who do pretty much the same thing. And so um, what I really want is one of these. Oh yeah, you can actually, you can make more than just you can make so many useful things. I've seen so many people design like household stuff that makes um, like kitchen stuff on their this is what I want. I want an NCR helmet. Uh, I love the it's almost like a real life World War II helmet with integrated gas mask. And we seen in the last episode we're seeing more of the NCR people like in the last episode of Fallout that I watched. Sounds like a cool kid. Kid's got taste then. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to finish the season. But why did my Siri just go off? Stop it. My Siri on my phone is going crazy. But it's going to be a relaxing weekend. I'm going to watch some movies, do some cleaning, create some content. I've been focusing on a lot of short form content. If you haven't already, go check out my shorts. They're little short 1-2 minute shorts from my trailer reviews I've been doing, which keep a lookout for more of those. I'm really enjoying doing the pre-recorded short and then short form content. And just past 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the past 6 shorts, I've done about 6,000 views, which is more views than my entire channel before. And we're slowly growing. The Outpost is slowly growing. I've gained in the past week 2 subs, which is pretty good for me. I'm going to try to do a new short every day or 2 until I can get the hang of it. So keep an eye out for that. I'm really enjoying that. Okay. Opening the refrigerator memento. I know that can work the shoulders, but it's not really a workout now, is it? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Me, I do 1 sit-up a day. Sitting up in the morning is in bed. That's one half. The second half is laying down in the bed at night. That's the other half for me. No, I've actually, I'm trying to walk more. I got a little Buddha belly that I need to get rid of, but it also would help if I gave up the sodas. But that's the hardest part. Hardest part for me is not exercising, it's dieting. I once, like in 2012, gave up sodas completely. I was able to wean myself off. And within a month, just from giving those up, I lost maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds. I don't remember how, but it was a lot. And then I was working out, but then I hurt my knee. Had to give up working out for about 6 months. It sucked. But I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. Just past week or 2, it's been so cold. I know that's cold in Florida. Yes, cold in Florida. It's been a couple of days in like the teens. Yes, check out Bertrand 850. Yes, check him out. Great channel. He's a good friend of mine. Good friend of the family. So check him out. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate that. See the difference here, the cold here, we get that wet, sharp cold that goes like right through you. It's almost like it's that kind of cold that makes your joints hurt. You walk 2 hours a day up hills both ways. Is that it? Yeah, I need to. My whole family needs to, actually, but what you can do. And I live on a lake, so we get that. If you like walk around the house, you get that cold, that big breeze. We haven't had any snow. I know some parts, a few about an hour north, got yes, they are Chinese boom boom sticks. But yeah, oh yeah. Ask Harlem if he's ever seen that show Deadliest Warrior. I used to love that show. It was on Spike TV. It would take two two warrior classes in history that never met on in. There's never any historical fact of them ever meeting, and they would bring in experts and show off the different types of weaponry that they use, the tactics, and then they would put all that information into a computer program, and they would see who would win the most out of 1,000 battles, and then they would act out like a fight between them and see which is the deadliest warrior class. They did that for about 3 seasons. And let me see. I'll bring it up. I love that show. See, the first one was the Apache versus Gladiator. The Apache had a tomahawk, the knife, bow and arrow, and war club, and it had a rawhide shield. They would also do weapons and armor. Gladiator had the cestus, which is, let's see. Okay, it's almost like a glove. It's a band that went around the arm. The scissor, it was the almost gauntlet blade. I didn't know that. Okay. And they had the trident net, sling, and sicca, which is the curved sword. And for short range, what? Why not? That's a great show. The tomahawk beat the Apache beat the Gladiator short range, knife, and mid range and long bow, but long range. But the Gladiator won, and I think. Let me see who won. Who was the victor? The Apache won, and my favorite one. Let's get down. I think this was episode 3. Spartan versus Ninja was my absolute favorite episode. Spartan used a sword, spear, javelin, and shield. Their armor was the bronze cuirass, the Corinthian helmet, and their bronze-coated shield. The Ninja versus used the Ninjato, which I think is the short, small little almost katana. Black eggs, which the black eggs they say is where the myth that they would disappear in a cloud of smoke was. Black egg was what it was. It was a black egg, and they would put dirt, crushed up glass, ash in it. And what they do is they slam it in their hands, breaking the egg, and throw it in your opponent's eyes. They had the shuriken, the blowgun, and the I'm not even going to pronounce that, but it's the ball and chain on this little sickle. So short range was the Ninja, the mid range was the spear for the Spartan, long range was Spartan, shield was Spartan, and the winner was the Spartan. And I remember this episode because I love Spartan Society. It's one of my favorite. Oh, he needs to. If he likes like history and like this Deadliest Warrior, I think it's on you. I think you can find episodes on YouTube. But they did. Here's the one that was really interesting. The first season's the best because they actually had they had warrior classes. Later on, they got into like historical figures. This one was pirate versus knight, which was awesome. The pirate had the cutlass, boarding axe, blunderbuss, flicklock pistol, and granado. but they didn't have any armor. The knight had the broadsword, halberd, crossbow, and morningstar, and it had plate armor. So for short range, it was the broadsword with for the knight. The cutlasses are awesome, but they're very short blades because most time they were used in close combat for the pirate on mainly in the hulls of ships or in the cargo holds. The blunderbuss, we've all seen. You see Pirates of the Caribbean, you know what the blunderbuss is. Blunderbuss was like a huge flintlock shotgun, and it was amazing. They would put anything they had in it. They wouldn't put just like ammunition in it. Sometimes they would take silverware and put it in there and blast it off that way. The flintlock pistol lost to the crossbow, which is kind of understandable. A flintlock pistol is one shot, you're done. And flintlock pistols were before they had borings in guns, and it was very, very inaccurate. And for the special weapons, the knight lost with its morningstar and flail to the granado, because the granado is basically like an early grenade. And the winner was pirate, because you were talking about Chinese alchemy a little while ago, Suzanne, because gunpowder was such a major game changer in war and fighting. So the knight, it didn't really stand a chance, because one good shot with the blunderbuss or flintlock pistol, it would puncture the armor. But I really enjoyed that show. I love history. I love mythology. So I recommend it. That's that's a recommendation from the Outpost. But so I'm gonna call it. I just wanted to do this short stream. I hope everyone had a good night. Has a good night, a good weekend. Keep an eye out for more short form content, more transmissions from the Outpost Nerd. But before we go, I want to thank you. Complete that. To my supporters who have supported financially. I love you all. These are the ones, Squad Bob, Divinity Said, who Take Her Death, and now Bertrand 850. I really appreciate you guys showing the support and love to the Outpost. I do this I love creating. I love making music. I miss music. I miss theater. I love ones. I love creating. Creating is the best drug, and the best thing is you can't OD on it. There's no greater feeling than putting something out into the universe that's good, that people can enjoy. So remember what I said, what I always say. Find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm the nerd of the Outpost. I love you all. I'm gone.